Hello and welcome to this case study video. For the first time ever, we will be revealing how we have scaled Robotutstyr, a multiple 8-figure Norwegian D2C brand's revenue by 60%, while simultaneously increasing their gross profit by 37% year over year. So this case study is going to be relevant for any e-commerce founder or owner, marketing manager, CMO, or in any way decision maker in an e-commerce brand, and you want to know what it takes to scale past 100,000 euros per month in ad spend. So in the next 30 to 40 minutes, my team and I we will be covering the 3 challenges that were bottlenecking Robotustyr's growth, the strategic framework that we use to steer the marketing and the overall collaboration, allowing for a flowing dynamic between the involving parties, as well as a walkthrough of our platform executions with our index-based campaign structure on Google and how we were able to test roughly 200 unique video creatives on Meta in the span of a year. All of which will be covered by Oliver, the CMO here at Profita. And lastly, the key learnings and takeaways that we got from the collaborationship. There's going to be a lot to cover in this video, and in the bottom of this video, you can simply turn up the speed if it is too slow for you. I understand that you're a busy person watching this, so I want to make it as concrete and concise as possible. Before we dive into the case and the challenges, I'd like to present myself. My name is Emil. I am the founder of Profita, which is a growth agency where we help European D2C brands scale profitably through paid social, PPC, content management, and strategic consultancy. We've spent more than 10 million euros on paid ads, generated our clients roughly 40 million euros in revenue, and advertised in more than 14 different markets. The insights and experiences that my team and I collect from working with a ton of different clients is something that I frequently share on my YouTube channel. So if you want more insights and learnings presented to you, then you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel. The link will be in the description of this video as well. But with that out of the way, let me introduce you to Robotutstyr, a multiple 8-figure brand operating out of Norway. So Robotutstyr, they are the leading actor within the robotic vacuum cleaner spare parts niche, and they have, since their formation in 2021, fulfilled more than 130,000 orders to their Norwegian customer base. They have right around 250 active SKUs and are operating in a fairly competitive niche with their CMS hosted by MyStore. Just so that you have an understanding of the market size and the market potential, data from year 2023 and 2024 indicates that more than 680,000 households in Norway own a robotic vacuum cleaner. All robotic vacuum cleaners needs maintenance and changing of spare parts, making this the audience size for Robotutstyr. The entire team here at Profita have also been responsible for different executions in the collaborationship. Oliver, our CMO here at Profita, he has been handling all of the executions on Meta and Google and will also cover the walkthrough later in this video. And Vasco, our graphical designer, he was responsible for designing different static creatives for the paid ads. And myself, I've been responsible for the overall strategy and content ideation. Let's dive into the challenges that Robotutstyr were facing before we started the collaborationship. Here, the challenges were nothing out of the ordinary, and I bet most of you watching right now are facing similar issues in your D2C brand, which are hindering your ability to scale. First and foremost, when Robotutstyr first came to us, they were spending multiple 6 figures per month on Google and Meta ads, but they were barely making a profit. Every time they increased their spend on platforms, their CPA increased alongside with it, making it unprofitable to scale further. And the second challenge they were facing was that they had a very low creative output, which ended up bottlenecking their ability to scale profitably on Meta. And thirdly, they had a low understanding of what was working and why it was working, making it difficult for them to double down where they had leverage. In the coming slides, I will be breaking down our strategic framework for how we scale Robotutstyr. And just like any new case that we onboard, we started the collaborationship with Robotutstyr by doing market research, which gives us a strong foundational understanding of the ICP and the general market that we're going to advertise in. Here, we follow our Profita analysis, which covers a persona identification, the brand value and propositions, the strategic gaps and red flags in the market and with the business, and then also a simple competitor analysis. We then mapped out and visualized all of the insights that we had found in a strategic outmapping in a Figma board. The goal here was to get everyone in the collaborationship on board from the beginning with our core KPIs and targets, how we should effectively communicate to our audience based on awareness stages, and what assets we needed to build in the different market stages. The strategic outmapping was presented during the onboarding phase and was constantly followed up upon with our growth tracking sheet, which I will be covering later in this video. Then we also implemented the growth structure that follows the 10 Rockefeller habits, and then we created a content plan based on the awareness levels and the sophistication levels of the market. So when we work together with new brands, we aim to incorporate a handful of the 10 Rockefeller habits into the collaborationship. And if you haven't already, I would highly recommend reading the book Scaling Up by Vern Harnish. It is a great book that covers how to incorporate the 10 Rockefeller habits into your organization, which ultimately makes it more fluent, more dynamic, and more streamlined. I'll not be covering all 10 of the Rockefeller habits, but in our collaborationships, we try to incorporate the following ones. First and foremost, we want the executive team to be healthy and aligned. Everyone is informed and knows exactly what's going on. Secondly, we want that everyone is aligned with the one thing that needs to be accomplished by the company in order to move forward. Thirdly, we want to have a communication rhythm established and information moves through the organization accurately and quickly. So we have pre-scheduled bi-weekly meetings to ensure alignment, as well as a designated Slack channel for fast and streamlined communication. And fourth, reporting and analysis of data is frequent and as accurate as possible. We incorporated our growth tracking sheet to ensure this, which I'll also show you later in this video. And 10, the company's plans and performance are visible to everyone. Everything is visible inside the growth tracking sheet with our targets, our KPIs, our goals, and everything that we've discussed. So what is this sheet and what does it contain? It basically contains multiple different sheets centralized inside one master sheet. The goal here is to have almost all of the infrastructure gathered in one place, which is needed in order to scale any serious business. So first, we have the daily tracking sheet. We have the monthly overview. We have the progression calls overview. We have the campaign planner, bottleneck identification, and so much more. If you're a D2C brand and you want our growth tracking sheet, then feel free to DM me the word tracking on Instagram, and I'll happily send it over to you. So when you're trying to scale your brand, there are two market psychology models which you need to incorporate into your digital strategy. And here I'm obviously talking about awareness stages and market sophistication levels. Understanding these two models are so incredibly important when you're trying to create impactful ads that can scale your business. If we start with awareness levels, what it is and how we use them to tailor our content mix at Robotutstyr. Regardless of what market you're operating in, your customers and potential customers will go through 5 levels of awareness. You may have heard this before, but there are the non-aware people, those who don't yet know that they have a problem. Then there are the problem-aware people, those people who know they have a problem, but don't know about a solution yet. Then there is the solution-aware people, those people who know there is a solution, but don't know about the specific product or service that will help solve their problem. Then there's the product-aware people, those people who know that there are different products in the market that will help them solve their problem. And then there are the most aware people, those people who understand exactly what will solve their problem in the best possible fashion. And you can see on this slide where these awareness stages fit into your funnel, where the non-aware and the problem-aware people make up the top funnel. And the more aware your audience gets, the further down the funnel you're going to be communicating. The reason why this is significant to know is because most brands that come to us, they see the classic symptoms of mostly communicating to the product-aware and the most aware audiences within their funnel. The vast majority of potential customers within your market niche, they reside within the non-aware and the problem-aware audiences, which in total accounts for up to 80% of the total market. When brands fail to communicate to lower levels of awareness, that is when their CPA and CAC levels continues to increase when they try to increase their ad spend. And that was also one of the challenges that Robotutstyr was facing before we started the collaborationship. So with the research that we did in the onboarding phase, we mapped out 3 different personas with our awareness level and customer intent model. This model highlights how we should communicate to each persona during each level of awareness based on customer intent, key message from brand, and what content piece they would likely resonate with. As for the sophistication levels of the market, then Robotutstyr operates in a level 4 to 5 sophistication level. Consumers, they are deeply familiar with robotic vacuum products and accessories, with the most competitors pushing marginal improvements or simply pushes lower prices. The market is saturated with little room for new product excitement. It's more of a battle of price, trust, and consumer convenience. And because of the sophistication level of the market, this case becomes primarily led by a Google intense focus. And this is where I will recommend another book to you, because if you haven't read Breakthrough Advertising by Eugen Schwartz, then I would highly recommend you to do it. It is a foundational book that covers exactly how to tailor your communication to your ICP. And in that book, you will also learn about two strategic communication frameworks and market psychology models that are very important to understand when you're trying to scale your brand. And here, I'm of course talking about the awareness stages and the market sophistication levels. Oliver, he will be breaking down our on platform execution framework and also the results that we generated from our executions in the coming slides.
My name is Oliver. I'm the CMO here at Profita, and I'll be covering the on-platform executions and frameworks within the next 10 to 15 minutes. For the channel mix, we mainly focused on Google, with Meta occupying a more supportive role in the channel mix. Robotutstyr was handling their email marketing and flows and newsletters themselves in-house. Google has historically been the best performing platform, with the highest spend and revenue attributed to the channel. Meta, as I said, has occupied a more supportive role, where awareness and retargeting has been in the focus. Let's break down how we structured and executed our Google ad strategy for Robotutstyr. First, we knew from the research we made in the beginning, it was a level of 4 to 5 sophistication market. Customers already knew exactly what they were looking for on Google. Our primary objective on Google was quite simple: drive down the CPA while dominating top impression share on high intent keywords, both in shopping and search. And this is how we structured the campaigns. We split our Google Ads into multiple performance layers. First, we had performance max campaigns, but not just a single campaign. We segmented the product feed into 5 different performance layers: over-index products or absolute bestsellers, index products, solid performers. Then we had the near index, which is products close to break even or just close to breaking through. We have under-index products, which is underperformance, where we kept a minimal spend. And we have a no index, where we tested new products with limited exposure to test their potential. We set up a performance max campaign for each indexation, which looked like this inside of the ad account. This allowed us to allocate the budget more dynamically, doubling down where the return was the absolute highest. Secondly, we had a Google shopping campaign, which we call a catch-all campaign. Here we just had all the products. This is designed to pick up searches or pick up on lost products, which was not indexed yet. Secondly, we had a catch-all Google shopping campaign. This catch-all campaign is designed to pick up on searches, especially for newer products or products with not enough data to be categorized inside of the indexing setup. Then we had a shopping campaign specifically for our soap products, and a shopping campaign which is divided into the 80-20 rule, where we had our product feed divided into the top 20% products, which is delivering 80% of the overall revenue. We also made heavy use of different search campaigns, which you can see here on the screen. Here we categorized the search campaigns based on high intent keywords, targeting exact SKUs and product model keywords. We used our search campaign specifically for brand searches, so that we could keep a 95% plus impression share to protect the brand equity and avoid competitors from sneaking into our impression share. We used dynamic search campaigns to find new potential search terms that we could start bidding on. And then we had both a search campaign focusing on our blog post, a search campaign which was only spending during the evening, and a search campaign specifically for our secondary product line, the lawnmower spare parts. This was the structure that our search campaigns followed, which was designed to collect most of the demand on the search and dominate the whole market. The problem we faced from here was that we were pretty much capped in the spending, so we could not really spend more without seeing a massive spike in the CPA. Therefore, we had to focus on higher awareness stages, the problem where audiences that aren't yet looking to buy, but simply gathering more information to find the correct solution for them. To capture this audience early in the funnel, we rolled out the blog post search campaign, as I mentioned earlier, that is designed and a designated search campaign, just aiming to educate future prospects about the best solutions in the market and generally just provide value and position Robotutstyr as the primary expert within their niche. Tracking was another element to their setup, which wasn't accurate. We had to get this fixed by incorporating an S2S state tracking setup. With this setup, our data started to be attributed real time into the ad account. There were no more instability, no more swings in the spending, and overall we saw just the algorithm become a lot more stable. We could now spend more time on nailing the bidding strategies. Here we've been mainly focusing on target ROAS, adjusting these based on the different targets that we initially had. Once we had our campaign structure and tracking in place on Google, then the game transitioned into nailing our bidding strategies based on our targets and overall impression shares in the market. Let's now move over to Meta and the setup that we ran there. I'll be briefly covering the campaign structure, then talk about our testing framework, and then I will talk about the most important part of the Meta ads performance, the creatives, and our theses around the creatives that we made. To kick things off, the campaign structure that we had for our Meta ads weren't anything out of the ordinary. We've been running 2 top funnels, which are CPO campaigns divided by product categories. So like the lawnmower and the spare parts. CPO is now known as Advantage Plus Budget Optimizer. It means the same and it does the same. We have been running 2 top funnel CPO campaigns divided by product category. CPO is now known as Advantage Plus Budget Optimizer. It means the same and it does the same as before, distributing our budget on a campaign level instead of an ad set level. So it's pretty straightforward. Then we had 2 ABO retargeting campaigns, one for the dynamic product feed and one with just 2 ad sets, one containing of all our warm audiences. So yeah, just a big pile, which we are calling a hot pot, and one that only retargets the website traffic, so the hottest of current audiences. As I said, I'm not going to go too in depth with this setup, as it is not like the technical side of things that are the major gains to be made on Meta. The gains instead come from testing frameworks that you follow, the theses that you have in your content creation, and the angles that you end up testing. So when we first started working with Robotutstyr on Meta, they weren't really testing that much content. They uploaded new ads every now and then, but the frequency was low and inconsistent, which made it difficult for them to scale their paid ads. On the screen here, you can see that we ended up testing more than 60 different video concepts, each consisting of 3 to 4 videos, equaling to roughly 200 videos tested in the span of 1 year. And as you can see, they are all named DTCs, which stands for Dynamic Creative Testing, which is a feature that you can turn on inside of an ad set. This feature allows you to gather all your creatives or all the creative headlines, primary text, CTAs, and descriptions inside one singular ad. Here we've been utilizing the 3-2 method to test our concepts. This is widely known as the best method for split testing Meta ads in high performance media buying communities around the whole world. What the 3-2 method means in simple terms is that you're testing 3 different ad creatives followed by 2 different primary texts and 2 different headlines. And then Meta goes ahead and find the best combination between your headlines, your primary text, and the creative that you inserted that will perform best in your ad account. It allows to give the algorithm more flexibility in your delivery, ultimately giving your ads a better chance to perform. So during the last 365 days, we had tested roughly 200 different videos. And this is the level of testing that you have to do if you're looking to scale your ad account on Meta. Now let's try and dive into some of the concepts that we made, why we believe they ended up being the top performers inside of the ad account. There were basically 3 angles that we pushed hard and iterated multiple times, as they proved to be the best performing ones. First, we had the did you know angle, then we had many forget angle, and then we lastly had the losing its ability to clean probably angle, a long sentence there. From our initial research, the ideal customer profiles that we identified were the home proud parent. This persona will resonate quite good with busy everyday lifestyle, and probably also this forgetting to change the spare parts angle. The smart homeowner, this persona will resonate quite good with an angle where we look into performance optimizations. And we have the pet owner, where this persona really resonated well with a robotic vacuum cleaner and the size of pet hairs. And these 3 personas would generally fall into 3 different categories. Either people didn't know that they actually had to change their spare parts, or they fell into the second group where they had simply forgotten about it. The third group of people were those who noticed that their robotic vacuum cleaner wasn't cleaning as thoroughly as they used to do. You see, when you're trying to scale your Meta ad account, it's important to understand the different persona types your ICP has. This is how you unlock a big audience, which allows you to scale. On screen, you can see a visualization of what it means to unlock different audiences and how it impacts your ability to scale. Throughout our creative testing, we learned a lot, and some of the learnings I will share with you now. People would rather feel like they were receiving a tip or advice rather than being sold to. Learning number 2, we gained a lot higher hook rates when we were showing the spare parts or the robotic vacuum cleaner in a home setting. And the learning number 3, amateurs resonate with amateurs. Learning number 4, closely monitor your click attribution. This is a learning that is a bit outside of the creative testing, but I think most of you watching could benefit a lot from knowing this. If you're working with an agency and the performance seems a little too good to be true, or that you can't feel the increased spend into your sales in the back end, then this one is for you. Always look at your CPA and ROAS based on your click attribution. Don't just look at the blended one. This can severely skew your understanding of your ad performance. This was it for Meta and Google. Emil will take over from here again and cover the rest of the slides. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for covering that, Oliver. And I just have a few bullets left before I will wrap up this case study. Because in order to further strengthen our paid ads, we also had to do a few changes off platform to increase our average order value. For many brands, this is one of the lowest hanging fruits in order to drive better performance on platform and with the business in general. We discovered a potential unicorn product in our robotic vacuum cleaner soap, a product that all of Robotutstyr's customers would need regardless of the robotic vacuum cleaner brand that they were using. It had an extremely high profit margin, well above the 70%, and at the time it was sold in a very low quantity, proving that the product had a lot more upside if it was placed correctly within the purchasing journey. So on the screen here, you can see that in the entire year of 2024, we sold right around 4,245 soaps, and it was really towards the end of the year that we saw the first real traction be generated. That was also right around the time we launched the majority of the soap-specific ads within the ad account. And as of recording this case study, July 2025, that number has grown to almost double. On screen are two charts, one where you can see the amount of soap sold in the entire of 2024 compared to the first half of 2025. We have increased the sales on this singular product by more than 78%, and we expect to see this growth to more than 150% by the end of this year. All of these initiatives covered in this case study, along with their amazing hard work and constant push for improvements, made it possible for Robotutstyr to scale their annual revenue by 60%, whilst also increasing their annual profit by 30% and have their marketing efficiency ratio go from 2.7x to 3.7x. This really goes to show you that even though you are a very well-established brand doing multiple 8 figures yearly, there are still a lot more potential to harvest when the right things are implemented. So if you found this video to be valuable and you want to know if we're a fit to help your brand scale, then you can book a discovery call with me, and you can find the link in the description of this video. All right, I want you to thank you for watching until the end, and I really hope that you got a lot of value from the video. If you want to watch more videos like this, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I try to post on a weekly schedule with different educational videos where I show you how you can optimize and scale and grow your D2C brand here in Europe. You may also reach out to me on Instagram or LinkedIn if you have any questions you feel like I'm the right person to answer. I'm always looking to try and help where I can. Again, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.